Hello and welcome to Japan for the FIVB Men's Volleyball World Cup. Clayton Lucas with you. And you join us in Hiroshima at the Hiroshima Green Arena for our second game of the day as Australia get ready to take on Egypt. Teams warming up at the moment through the serving warm-up. They'll have the hitting warm-up, which was very impressive, has to be said, as you might expect from a couple of world-class teams. The Australian team in your picture, the captain, Thomas Edgar, has had a long chat with the team. They had a good old heart-to-heart yesterday and again this morning ahead of this match as they look to try and record a victory. They lost to the USA 3-0, they lost to Japan 3-1, they lost to Italy 3-0. This is currently how the standings are at the beginning of today's play. Australia, the strongest team, I guess you could say, as they are holding everybody else up. But they desperately want to get off the bottom rung. They have 11 matches to play, 3 down. And it's not looking great for them. They're a young team, the Australian side, and one thing that they are struggling with and admitted to struggling with is the weight of serve that they're having to deal with, as was witnessed by their matches against the USA, Italy and Japan. Sam Walker will be looking to make an impact through the outside slot if he gets the nod today. For Egypt, well, they've got a couple of big servers. Number 12, Mossam's been not starting as setter, but it's between him and Abdallah, number 2. Moniem has played through the outside, has a big jump serve. Well, the biggest server for Egypt is their captain, number 4, Salah, who will be looking to make it really difficult for Australia today if he can. But with the warm-up over, it's time to head to the bench and then line up ready for the anthems. Just had a glimpse of the squad, and just to confirm, you know, the Australian squad are young, but so too are the Egyptian team. There's a few players, Beckett and Abdulhay Salah, the captain, and Ahmed, who have the experience, along with number 19 Moad, but he's a libero. Won't be well, he'll be able in trying to influence things from his defensive point of view. So the team's then out onto court as we get ready for the anthems. It will be Australia first and then Egypt second.
Please rise for the national anthem of Australia. Republic of Egypt.
Players take their seats, ready for their introduction, but before that we have to meet the refs who are in charge for today, and it's Luis Macias from Mexico on the left-hand side, who's the first official.
Presentation of the international referees. The first referee is Mr. Luis Macias from Mexico.
Arturo Giacomo is the second ref from Belgium.
The second referee is Mr. Arturo Giacomo from Belgium.
So, time for the starting sixes for both teams. So outcoming onto court for Australia is number 2, Jacob Geimer. Then it's going to be number 13. So Samuel Walker goes through the outside, along with number 9, Max Staples. Going through the middle, going in the opposite slot is Edgar Thomas. And starting setter today, Harrison Peacock. And then that's the team that Santilli's decided will be the team to get the job done here. So for Egypt, it's Abdallah, number 2, who starts as a setter. Salah, number 4, in the opposite slot. No surprises there. That's how they line up. Through the middle is Abu, number 3, and Mamdou, number 6. And then through the outside, it's number 13, Moniem. And in fact, number 8, Mohamed Thakil. That's who Nehad Sheheta has decided he wants to go with today. Interestingly for Australia, Travis Passier started this tournament but has been replaced by Nemea Mote, and Mote keeps that spot on court. Max Staples, another player who came in as a substitute and is holding his own for the team. It's another player looking to try and make that shirt his very own, really, that starting position along with Sam Walker. Away we go then with the first set. Egypt in white serving, Australia in the green receiving. Best of 5 sets of this FIVB Men's Volleyball World Cup here in Japan. Edgar onto the baseline. Well, that's comfortably in. I don't think there's really needs to be a challenge of the first point of the game, does there? Well, there's going to be. So we've got a challenge. That ball, I'm convinced, unless I'm seeing things in my old age, but that ball looked to be a good foot in. Well, the coaches have 2 challenges per set. You can challenge ball in and out, which we're going to have a look at. Challenge a centre line violation, baseline 3-metre line violation, whether the ball hits the antenna, whether the block touches the ball or not, and whether the block touches the net or not. I told you it was in, a good country mile in, as far as being in is concerned. So, great start for Australia, and Egypt have lost a challenge already, only 1 left for them. Mote with the serve. Moniem gets block out. So that sends Mamdou back to serve. Big number 6 for Egypt. Geimer with nowhere to go against Abu. 2 meters and 10, Abu. He's getting at least a metre across the net, if not further, when he blocks. Geimer just found that out. A worrying start for Australia. Roberto Santilli was going, well, he was apoplectic in their match against Japan when they just failed to get going, failed to play. Japan didn't make things any easier with their level of play, which was outstanding. They did save a couple of 3 match points in the 3rd set and then took the set, and you thought, all right, game on, here we go, it's going to get tasty. But then they just capitulated in the 4th set and were beaten 3-1. But Santilli was lucky he didn't burst a blood vessel in his head. He was going absolutely crazy because his team just weren't doing the basics for him. He'd switched off and he wasn't getting any joy, which is why the team had a big heart-to-heart yesterday and again this morning, just talking about their level, how they need to do better, how they need to just improve mentally in these situations to go after it. They know that they're going to be faced with these huge serves, in particular the one that's going to be coming now from Salah. Abdallah, if this goes in, it's difficult to deal with, even by the top team. So they'll be delighted they've got off that one. Walker with the serve for the Roos. They've got an extra little player with them on the bench today. We might get to see it as that one is hammered away from Edgar, but look out for the inflatable friend on the sideline. Oh, good up. Really good dig from Peacock. Well, the ball, unfortunately for Australia, has gone down their own side. I thought they'd made a block for a second. Staples thought he had as well. Unfortunately, he couldn't seal that net. So a confident start from Thomas Edgar. It's all square at the moment. Gaiman now to serve. Abu readies himself. And Edgar finds a way through. That's great. He's over the top of the block as well. That's very good hitting from Edgar. Well left. Good cover by Mote. Edgar to the beat, and he beats them. It's a nice matchup at the moment for Australia. They've got Mohamed Thakil trying to stop Edgar, and he's not having much joy. Staples will serve. Egypt get their side out. And we hit the first technical timeout. Egypt leading 8-7.
في خط خط صريح خلاص. قفل الخط خش له بس هو ما قفلش الخط. اوكي مفيش مشكله. يلا يلا نعوض 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 يلا يلا يا رجاله يلا نعوض. احنا كسبانين.
Fakil. Good dig. Oh, well, Salah hasn't had a chance yet to show what he can do from attack. Well, this is exactly what he can do. Looking for the corner, almost getting it. So, first substitution, Gaiman's off, Passier's in. Now, we had an interesting substitution situation in our first game, USA versus Italy, and those of you watching that will know about it. So one of the questions I want to ask, for those of you that are watching, I want to get a bit of kudos out there on the social media side of things. What's the maximum number of substitutions you can have per set? Unlike back in the old days, it'd be answers on a postcard. Answers posted on Twitter. And if you want to get involved on Twitter, it's hashtag FIVBMW Cup. Egypt then just with a slight lead at the moment, but still a long way to go. Any big serves from Australia could see them edge back in front. Peacock with the serve, so the setter in the back row, Edgar in the front row. Big blocking unit for Australia. Moniem helps things by putting it straight into the net, and Australia now level. Almost by Australia. They read what was coming, just a fraction too late. That's the weight of serve that Australia are struggling with. Abdallah this time on his second visit to the serving line shows why he's going to be a threat and why he's going to be difficult to deal with. Nice play. It's off the block and into the antenna, so it didn't really matter where the ball went after that. Salah having a chat to the ref. It doesn't matter. The ball hit Egypt's hands, hit the antenna. The minute it did that, it's out of play. And as it hit an Egypt hand last, it's Australia's ball. Well, Perry is a leading light for Australia. He works so hard to keep the ball in play. Moniem was off balance. He's leaning backwards. He doesn't have a hard hit available to him. However, Australia lacking a little bit of discipline with that block to get wiped. Staples with no way through. The block too tough. Moniem. Edgar with a little bit of strength. He had his hand out in front of him showing tip ball or off-pace attack. And just played it in and out. Very nice use. So that puts Passier back to serve for Australia. Always going to be a threat in a good ball situation. But Australia need to step up around Edgar so he's not the lone figure trying to score the points for the team. Second technical, Egypt are looking comfortable. Australia haven't really done anything to try and get themselves in front. We'll take the game to Egypt at the moment. Too many unforced errors from them. So at the tech timeout, it's Egypt leading by 2.
فالاخطاء في الاستقبال تقل البلوك يسيبه يضرب من فوقك ويطلعها ديفنس بس ما يعملش تاتش اوت في ايدك ماشي اخر يا حسين ما طلعش معاه في نفس التايمنج انت وممدوح او حليم اخر وسيبه شوط من فوقك ماشي هنوقف لها ديفنس يجيبها ماشي يلا عايزين ناخر يعني هو بيحط ايديه على الكوره يلا ممدوح
Good leave. Nice early call as well from Australia. That's what you want, a confident early call. Didn't quite work for Salah. So Australia one behind. Staples. The jump floater. Very tidy put away. Peacock taking away the cross court and the ball just being hit straight down the line. Fakil it is. El Hosseini he has on the back of his shirt. Great swing from Edgar. That'll inspire the ruse. Ha, clever play. Abdullah pops the ball down. Now this is where Australia have to be smart. They've got to be focused, and they mustn't make any errors. That will do nicely because they now got Egypt slightly out of system, but do you know what? Doesn't matter, does it? Salah comes up and delivers from the back row. That one with an extra bit of hot sauce on it. Good leave. Abu over the top. So a sub by Egypt. I have asked the question, what's the maximum number of substitutions you're allowed in a set? And yet you might think it's easy, but actually there's a little bit more to it than that, which is what I'm after. Perhaps if you know what that is, you can tell me. And earn yourself a bit of kudos on Twitter. Bristol Badcats have had their say. Thank you for that. So a chance here, Edgar waiting at 4, he's going to get the ball, and he gets the point as well. So Australia now level things up. So a timeout call by Egypt. Australia get themselves level.
حليم اخر لها حليم دخل ايدك جوه سيبه شوط من فوق ما تحطلوش ايدك عندك اخره هو بيضرب وهو نازل هتجيبه باندا وهتجيبه بلوك ماشي يلا نعمل سايد اوت مهمه جدا طبعا نفسك شويه
So the teams back out now in this first to 5 wins the first set scenario, unless of course we get to 4 each, and then we'll just keep going till someone gets 2 clear. Passier with the serve. Oh dear. There's a real lack of focus about that serve from Passier. That's why Santilli's just thrown his pen down to the bench with disgust. Always nice to take stuff out on inanimate objects when you're upset. Dear Staples got himself in a bit of a muddle. Lost his timing between him and the setter. And now Australia have to call timeout.
Hey, come on. Hey, you're gonna play shoot, play shoot. Plus the ball part. You gotta play shot, you play back. And then go back and score the point. Hey guys, we can't enough to play now. Hey, come on.
Abu with his jump float serve, he'll be looking to go cross court with this. Put it between Staples and Walker. Walker deals with it. Edgar can't quite deal with it. Oh, double touch, everyone screaming for it. A little look at the referee. However, Australia have the point anyway, so let it lie for now. Edgar now has a chance to get the team level. He can get his serve going. Well, it's going, and it's still going. So a bit of a miss-hit from Edgar, couldn't get the wrap through the ball. Now, if you want to join the conversation, hashtag F5EBMW Cup, as Australia call a timeout. I asked a question about the maximum number of substitutions, but as is always the way, there's a little bit more to it than what you might think. So have a think, and then give me your answer on Twitter. I look forward to seeing what you have to say.
Keep the ball if the ball is there right, okay? And then press choice. Play high ball, forward, and go on. Come on, let's out. And go now, outside.
That's interesting. Salah not going with the jump serve. But it proves costly, almost made a dig. But why didn't he go and wrap the jump serve? Egypt is still going to remain in front. Even if he'd have missed it, it was a serve to nothing, really. So Australia with Staples. Somehow Salah forces that one down, and Egypt now have set point.
Substitution by Egypt. Number 6 out. Number 5 in.
Net touch by Moniem, set point saved. Mote is going to go back to serve. He doesn't have the toughest serve. But first and foremost, he's got to get this in.
Substitution by Egypt.
A change for Egypt. Al-Kottab out, Fakil back in.
Substitution by Egypt. Number 15 out. Number 8, Mohammed Sakir in.
And the first set goes the way of Egypt. Australia within touching distance throughout that set, but really couldn't get themselves in front for any length of time and couldn't hold on to it when they did. And it's Egypt to lead 1-0 after taking that one 25-23. So there is the inflatable friend that Australia have got with them. Not been much help so far.
Keep going, mate, keep going.
Set 2 underway. Staples serving. Australia trailing Egypt 1-0. 1EM hoping for a touch, not getting one. Now, Egypt had a challenge at the first point of the first set, but they're not going to challenge this one. That was verging on a throw from Abu. Well, it's touched someone in the block from Egypt. Oh, it's a net touch against Egypt. Oh, we got a challenge as to whether anyone was in the net. Well, it was a massive touch. They're all going no touch. Unfortunately, you've got to tuck your shirt in, son. Nice place from Salah again. Well, it's a good battle between the two opposite players.
Back step, 604, 604.
It was the speed of the arm from Salah that managed to get that hit away just before he ended up with all of the ball in the net. That one's not coming back. Salah again. This time a little too much on it.
front serve, six side.
So a little mini breakthrough for Australia. You just see the fact Edgar doesn't even have to jump particularly high to get his hands that far across the net.
Front serve, six side.
Oh, almost embarrassing Salat. Free ball. Nicely played though, because the setter has to play it. Oh, and it's a net touch against Egypt.
Front serve, six side.
Really good dig from Peacock again. Now that's the kind of play that Santilli's been expecting, wanting from his team from the word go. Soaking up the pressure of the opposition, turning it into effective transition. And Edgar's done it. But a great dig from Peacock in the first instance. And again, very good play, and Australia have a decent lead at the first technical timeout. So change for Egypt. Negib, number 14, is coming in. He's normally the starting player through the outside, along with Moniem. He's been out a haircut. Well, Perry held his ground. Unfortunately, though, falling backwards, couldn't quite hold it sufficiently long enough to stop the ball from going out of play. Well done, Staples, stayed out of the net. But Salah puts the ball down. And Egypt are fighting back here for 8 down, now only 7-8 down. Bounced up and hit Negib right in the chin. He's got a face full of volleyball from Edgar. That'll sting. Boom. Ooh. Let's hope he's not got a glass jaw. Oh, he's still having a bit of attention. Right, son, what week is it? Where are you? I'm on the court. Where are we at? We're at the Volleyball World Cup. Who are you? I'm Batman. Good to see he's okay. Australia can serve again. That one won't make it into court. Well, if Australia can keep siding out, they can keep their noses in front, they can keep frustrating Egypt. And with plays like that, they'll look to do it. I guess the more this game goes on, the more you have to wonder how much Edgar can keep going on and can keep delivering at that level. Nice one from Mote. Case of go gadget arms, wasn't it? He just about got enough on the ball to get it down. Good leave. Lots of little indicators, little things that can help Australia and give them that little bit of confidence as the set goes on. Abdallah missing his serve, so they have to now another 3 rotations before they get another big serve to deal with. But Salah's the man to stop. They've managed to get this ball into transition. It's just a free ball here for Egypt. And this time Salah steps inside with a free swing, and whilst Edgar was stood there, there's not much else he can do. It's come up off his thigh. He was lucky not to get that one right in the crown jewels. Definitely Edgar leading the way here, isn't he? But the more that happens, the more Egypt will decide to double up on him, the more they'll serve to try and take him out of the action, which has been part of their game plan anyway. Mote. Oh, they're celebrating a little too quickly. And still it doesn't hit the floor. It does now, but it's outside of the sidelines. Magnificent effort from Australia to keep that ball in play. All-out defence. Great get from Walker. And a really good pickup from Passier. An almost magnificent play from Staples. He's allowed to go under the court as long as he doesn't put his foot on the other side of the net. Abu. Well, everyone's screaming for a double, but the thing is it's first ball, so he can't get away with it. And Australia not happy. Edgar having a chat, the ref. Come on, ref, it was a massive double touch. Yes, but it was the first contact after your attack. Well, this is a case of not trying to control the uncontrollables, i.e. the referees. As soon as you start to lose your focus and thinking about refs' decisions, line judges' decisions, you get in trouble. Just go and play volleyball. Walker's all over the net. And Egypt now have control of this set. Timeout called by Australia.
Don't follow the first tempo. So if you are on time, we can play. And then, guys, if you have a ball, you have to arrange and play. That's all. But the service now, we move the service. A serve in position 1 or serve to the libero. But be aggressive, guys.
Just caught the kind of drift of that one. Santilli telling Egypt not to worry, telling his team not to worry about Egypt's first tempo attack and follow the ball out wide. They haven't gone to either 6 or 3 very much at all. So the threat is number 4 Salah and number 14 Naguib as far as Santilli's concerned. And the big threat as far as Egypt are concerned is Thomas Edgar. Peacock. Well, was the ball down before the net touch came? Edgar can't talk to the second referee. He's got to control himself. So challenging the net touch. Edgar's only allowed to talk to the first ref, and now he's being called over to tell him exactly that. Don't do that. Don't talk to the second ref. Come and talk to me. Was the ball down? Now, this is one thing. All right, we're going to see a challenge now for net touch. But if the ball was down and Edgar hit that really hard and very quick, if the ball's hit the floor, then that's it. Rally's over, and the net touch doesn't count. But are we going to be able to see whether or not the ball has hit the floor in relation to that net touch? Because that's quite a key thing. It might show a net touch, but the rally could be already over. Not only that, Walker was in the net as well, wouldn't he? Was Walker in the net before the ball hit the floor? Were Egypt in the net before the ball hit the floor? Was the rally over before anyone hit the net because the ball had hit the floor? So here comes the attack. They're on their way down. That ball's hit the floor. But I think that ball's hit the floor before Salah touches the net. So we don't get that. For me, is not accurate, because we can't see the balls hit the floor. But now, and Egypt is saying the same thing here. Egypt is saying, no, the ball hit the floor. At which point Edgar's saying, no, I don't hit the ball that hard. Well, I don't know many that hit it harder than him. I think Australia have got lucky. And if you're an Australian fan, you won't care about the ball. And you certainly won't care now, because your team have gone in the lead. If you're an Egypt fan, you won't be too pleased with the way those 2 points have just gone. Not a good play from Moniem. Great serve from Peacock. Good swing. Naguib with plenty of space to pick where he wanted to put the ball. Oh, good work from Walker. Very nice swing hitting from him. And at the second technical timeout, Australia lead, but it's not as big a lead as it was.
No worries. We can play 1 against 1 when we have the opposite front. That's normal. Hey, Boxy, that's normal. You go there, and this side, we block cross. And then don't move too much inside because he's spiking the ball long. So just be here and then you can defend the ball. Hey guys, aggressive now. We use the libero here. Be aggressive at position 1 on first. Come on.
So away we go. Australia are trying to work this opening that they've managed to achieve, and they've got Egypt on the back foot here. Well, they did have them on the back foot. Salah again finds a way through. Santilli has just gone crazy at Staples for allowing Salah to put that ball where he did. And just a quick reference back to that challenge where Egypt were done for a net touch and they thought the ball had hit the floor. I can tell you now the ball was still in play, hadn't hit the floor when the net touch was made. It was the right call. Well, that's off the block and out. I don't think it touched anyone, did it? But then you have to look at the laws of physics here, because Salah's hit that into the net and it's come off at a right angle. Now, how would it have done that if it didn't touch anybody? So that's why they're going to have a little challenge. Again, Santilli still going on at Staples. He wants him to get further across to not allow Salah to hit that ball the way he is. So did any part of this ball catch the block, or was it all the whole of the ball into the net? And if the net hits the player, that's not a fault, but could still send the ball off at that funny angle. Oh yeah, big touch, isn't it? There you go, right on the tricep of Staples, and out of play. Australia looking for a touch. So the challenge is now coming thick and fast, aren't they? It's a bit like Piccadilly Circus. You don't see a bus for hours and then all of a sudden a whole bunch of them come along at once. And we're finding that here with the challenge system. There's a lot riding on it. Everyone looking up to the big screen at the end of the arena. You guys, you can just keep looking at your screens where you are. You don't need to look away. Not seeing any touches anywhere. Neither did the challenge system, so it's an unsuccessful challenge. And Santilli now has none left. Nice, Staples just gets that one off of Abdallah. Staples leaving the rest of the team stationary as that one went down. Edgar. That's got to be a mental thing from Edgar, because he's got license to go after the jump serve. He obviously didn't feel confident about it. And then he's gone with the jump float, which he hasn't really done, and made an error. He'd have been better off, wouldn't he? Just getting up there and belting the ball. That's what Abdallah's going to do. And that's what he has done. Nice. Really good swing from Staples. Nice high contact, taking on the top of the block. Oh, good reactions from Peacock. And a nice put away from Edgar. Lovely point from the Ruse. Just watch, Peacock turns, and as he turns as well, he then comes linked in and able to get that ball up. Edgar waiting for his chance and taking it. Egypt come back to the middle. They haven't done it a great deal, but it does now give Australia just that something to think about, which they weren't having to worry about previously. Moniem now serving. Salah still in the front row for Egypt. He's been pretty quiet. And Mote gets the better of Abu. I really like Peacock setting. He takes it at his highest point, so his contact point is above the height of the net, which means Egypt has virtually no time to react once it leaves his hands. And Egypt come back through the middle as well, so it's 3 middle attacks in a row. 2 for Egypt, 1 for Australia. Passier comes to the front row now for Australia. Maybe he'll get a swing. Nope. Oh, a good pick-up that was from Salah. Looked like it was going to hit the floor. Clever. Very clever from Travis, and poor defensive play from Abdallah. If your blocker in front of you joins the pipe block, you've got to switch round. You look where Salah was. He was way out of position. That's where he should have been starting, where he ended up diving to. You've got to come around and take that angle for exactly that purpose on that tip ball, because the block's taking away that power. Double touch against Salah. That's a big point for Australia. They're 2 away from taking the set. Well, there's no point looking at the second referee. You can't challenge the handling call. Timeout called by Egypt.
Timeout by Egypt.
بتاعتك بتاعته بتاع السيف. مش ممكن كده نضيع فرصة في الاخر كده. يلا يلا وقلنا الفلوتر صعب، حطه في نص الملعب، ما توريليش كرة يمين وكرة شمال. يلا نعمل سايد اوت، ما حدش يدخل بالوش. يلا نكافح للاخر. يلا.
It does look like Egypt, without any disrespect to Australia, Egypt look like they're kind of taking it easy to a degree, and it's could come back and bite them here. Peacock with the serve. Egypt have to side out. So Abu puts it down. Egypt do have the serve, and more worryingly, I suppose, for Australia is the fact that Salah has the ball. He's been hit or miss.
Substitution by Egypt. Number 2.
Setting substitution. Sam comes in. Abdallah goes out. Salah waiting to serve. He's just going with a jump float serve. And unbelievably, Edgar has tipped that ball over the baseline. Well, who'd have bet on that? Edgar going back with the jump float serve, then Salah coming round and going with a jump float serve, and we've got a timeout now by Australia.
There is no reason to be nervous. You just have to do what you have to do, clearly and right. So if you serve again flat, just be ready and pass the ball. If you serve a pass, we keep the ball and play the hard ball. Good. One more.
Salah looks like he's going to do another jump float serve. Set point then for Australia. Oh, that's a really good chase. Australia will have a swing for the set. Edgar. He can't find the floor. Better chance now maybe for Salah, but he is shut out. Just the continuation block. Third time lucky. It is indeed. He gets it off the block. Australia's chance to take the set goes begging for the moment. And Egypt have levelled it up at 24 all. Well, Edgar mustn't let it play on his mind. Egypt with the serve. Oh, what a serve. Egypt scrambling well, but Australia blocking even better, and at last Travis. Max Staples gets that ball across. It wasn't Travis Passier, he was working with Staples together, but it's Staples who got the right angle this time alongside Travis Passier, and it's set point number 2 for Australia. Santilli had been screaming at Staples, hadn't he, to get across. Close to the antenna, he'd done it that time. It's had an effect. And that is a monster block from Edgar to take the set. Brilliant play from the Roos. All smiles now for them as they level the match at 1 set all. But they did that the hard way. The teams go around and get ready for set 3. Egypt with something to think about. Here are the highlights. Some stats for you from the set. Australia with 2 more attacks. 2 more errors and 2 more blocks. Well, I asked a question, didn't I, at the top of the show about what's the maximum number of substitutions, and on the face of it, it is pretty easy. Yeah, 6. However, that isn't always the case, especially if you're Italy today, who actually managed to get 7 substitutions in a set, but that's a whole nother story. 6 is the most. However, there are exceptional substitutions. So if you've had your 6 and somebody gets injured, then that player can be subbed out, and anybody can go on for them who's on the bench and be subbed in for them to finish the set off. However, the person who comes off injured can take no further part in the match. Well done to Curry ZM for getting that one right, and well done to the rest of you who knew it as well. Slightly more obscure rule, doesn't often happen, although it did happen for the USA at the Women's World Cup when Dietzen got injured. Karch then had to bring Tatori Dixon on in her place. All 6 subs had been used, and it was the end of the match then as far as Dietzen was concerned. Although fortunately for the US, it was towards the end of the 3rd set. They were leading 2-0 and leading in that 3rd set, and it was then the end of the game. So Edgar's massive one-on-one block, sealing that 2nd set for Australia. We get ready now for the 3rd set. Egypt serving. Abdelhay will have the ball. I just wonder whether or not Salah regretting the fact he never went back and jump serve instead of float serving in that last set. Abdallah should be going with a jump serve, is going with a jump serve. But not tough enough to stop the Ruse going through the middle with Mote. Nice start for Australia. Side out, followed by an error from Egypt. It's not often the setter gets to have a swing in the back row. Abdallah showing he's just as good a hitter as he is a setter. Good covering by Perry. Good hard swing from Australia.
Back set. One big corner, hit that pass.
Tit for tat then, at the moment. Oh, that may have been going wide. It looked like it was going a long way wide. Salah maybe saw a touch or saw something that we couldn't. Walker doesn't care, he's got the ball, he gets to serve. Salah. look a little bit tired in defence, don't they? A good swing from Edgar. Really good put away from Mote. Be quick, up in the air, top of his swing. No chance for Egypt with that one. Cheeky little play from Peacock. Egypt not paying attention. So the timeout called just as we were in the second. It's the Australians just with a slight lead.
We decide every rotation we decide where we serve and then give you if we make a change. It's important we serve fast. Right? Fast. So don't be afraid, serve fast.
Set of one now, set of one. 80% quick guys, with the fastest throw. 80%.
Yeah. Hey, and be better, guys, on the high ball. Be better on the high ball because they're scoring on blocked out. So we have to wait on the high ball. Good.
So Moniem goes back. Nagib comes to the front row with Salah and Abu. Australia are keen to run their middle on the good ball, which is being successful so far, especially if they can run it over the top of 14 as well. Nagib, he's not the tallest of players. Takes him that little bit longer to get up higher over the net. Travis Passio is going to have his work cut out for him against Abu. Just look at the height he takes that at. Well, Salah staying disciplined. He didn't try and reach outside of his body line. It's a very good wipe off from Edgar. And Egypt come back with the ball. So still scoreboard's ticking over point for point. Nobody making any breakthroughs just yet. Hassan putting his hands up, goalkeeper-like, but you can see his head comes back, his shoulders are back, so he's going to be really weak trying to play the ball. And just like a keeper, ended up tipping it over the crossbar. Hassian knocked off his feet. And the score's level once again. Too much pressure on Abdallah, the ball into his hands and into the antenna. It's looking like another set that's going to go to the wire here. And I suspect if Australia were to take it, there's no reason why they couldn't go on and take the match. 3-1. Foot fault from Edgar. Throw that ball up so high. And then just a little too far in front. And then trying to chase and catch up to it, still on the line. Oh dear, well, I think there'll be a small fine for him when they go back to the changing rooms. He's lucky he got his hand on that one, I think. The only thing surprising about this set is the fact that Egypt haven't done it as much as they have. Abu is pretty much unstoppable. And until Australia can shut him out, there's no reason to stop going and putting the ball in his hitting zone. Mote comes back. Neither one of them have been able to stop each other at the moment. Mote on the B quick with a 2-meter shoot in front. Abu on the A quick, right in front of the setter. Mote with the serve. Moniem. Brilliant. Nobody taking the power line away from Edgar, and therefore no one's going to dig it in the back row. Big block from Edgar. So Australia make a little breakthrough. They lead by 2 at the second technical timeout.
Change something on block. Can you serve the ball short in the middle? Okay, you can try. Okay, and number 3. Okay, it's difficult because it's spiking down. So just keep it and just him and the and they're good on front time. Hey, this rotation, the next rotation, you always go to. Let's go, guys. Come on, guys.
And again, Abu getting past Travis Passier. I was going to say that was brilliant. It was a great reach from Peacock. But for some reason, Passier's tried to bury that one. He's only done it into his own side of the net. So the 2-point lead's gone. Abu's serving. It's the first swing Walker's had in a while. It's a good one. Still, Sam Tilley not happy with the way his team are performing. Nice play from Muniam on that backcourt pipe. Don't run it quite as well as the likes of Italy and the USA, but it's effective, it's working. Salah with the serve. Oh, that's a great serve. And when you see him put a ball in like that, it just makes it all the more weird why he didn't do that serve in the second set. Right towards the business end, went up and just did a float serve. So with Egypt leading by 1, Australia call the timeout.
Keep the ball high and we play high ball. Now we have the block, high block, and they have a second setter. Remember, with the second setter, more ball back. Okay, come on, sit up. Yeah.
Australia may be predictable. You've still got to stop it. Oh, that's just an amazing dig from Peacock. Egypt invited to have another go. And that hard work could pay off. It does pay off because Moniem comes under the net. Sometimes giving the ball back to the opposition is the right thing to do. In terms of giving it back without trying to hit a winner. Just to give it them back and reset and go again as a defensive outfit. Messier with the serve. And Mote gets a block. That's a big block to make as well. He puts down Mamdou and a timeout call by Egypt. Egypt again having to work. And again, Australia get the point off the back of some very tidy defending. First dig, really good touch to then give the ball back, reset block defense, and in comes Mote to make the block.
أول كورة بس شوية يلا هنا يلا هنا أول كورة بس أول كورة بس أول كورة
Well, Australia need to keep making hay while the sun is shining, and that's what they're doing. That's what the bench thought. Oh, good play again. Peacock's having a blinder. Almost landed in. Once again, Thomas Edgar's coming in cross-court. He's lining up to hit cross-court. There's nothing he's not doing there that says he's going to go anywhere but cross-court. And where does the Egyptian block gone? Well, it's not even in the frame by the time he hits the ball. It's gone all the way over very nicely, sealed the antenna and taken away the line that Edgar was never going to hit. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Well, that's the inexperience of Australia. They all thought Abdallah was going to have a swing, and he's got it out to Salah, who's had a free hit. No one in front of him. Really nice play from... And then Mote makes the error, and it's not quite so comfortable for Australia. Mamdou. They'll be feeling better now, though. Set point for Australia. Chance for them to go 2-1 up. So there's going to be a challenge first as to whether or not Edgar had made a foot fault violation at the 3-metre line. I'm not sure Egypt are convinced. There you go, no, he's miles away. If he was a long jumper, he'd be having some more coaching, because that's quite a lot of distance he's left between him and that 3-metre line. Carroll then goes back to serve, set point for the Roos. Chance to go 2-1 up, chance to put forward their statement of intent here. Lovely play from Egypt to stave off that first set point. And I guess it's still a situation whereby Australia know they're facing a really big serve here. But equally, Abdallah knows if he misses this, they're going to be 2-1 down. Good to see he's going for it. Well, just took a little bit off that ball. Staples thought the big swing was coming, but didn't think like Abdallah did, which is, I can't hit this too hard, I can't make an error, so I'll just put a little swing on it, get it with a lot of top spin. So a nice double bluff from Abdallah, catching out the Australian passing unit.
The impression that he's going to serve maximum 5-6, but he serves short. We just have to lock the hand and move forward. Then we play easy ball. Back. Hey, nice. Side out, and if we don't score, come back to play and block the opposite.
Abdallah once again. Best chance now for Australia to get this set won. And they do. Edgar's not been stopped, has he? And he's not going to get stopped through there. 25-23. Australia lead 2-1. And Egypt now with it all to do as we head into set 4. Well, that's quite incredible. Just having a quick look at the stats. And Australia, we know Edgar's hit quite a few points, but you wouldn't credit this. 34 he's got so far. And no one else is anywhere near double figures. Here are the highlights. Here's some stats for you. So, same amount of attacks, same amount of errors, same amount of aces. 25-23 was decided on blocks. And talking of blocking, if you want to get in on the conversation, hashtag FIVBMW Cup. What's the ruling if someone goes up and blocks the ball, it comes down and hits, and it's on the opposition side of the net as the ball comes down, so you've stopped it from coming on your side, and as it comes down, it hits your foot as you're in the air and you've piked. One of those ones where you get your hands so far across the net, comes off your hands, rolls down, comes down close to the net and then hits your foot while you're in the air. What's the ruling then? Getting back to the action here, and goodness me, what a game we are seeing. Egypt have to raise their level here. If they play the same way, they're going to be in trouble, aren't they? And Australia will have their first victory. Set 4 underway, Staples with the serve. Australia leading 2-1. Still, it can't stop. Edgar, that's his 35th point of this match. You just wonder if they do get to stop him later in this set, how that will affect him going into the 5th, if they're able to manage to muster up the win here. But Australia, well, they know that if they can play like they did in that last set, they could win the game. How do you stop that? You'd have to have a couple of players already stood up on a couple of benches, I think. And if you believe the stats, they do say there are lies, damn lies, and statistics. According to the stats for Egypt, Abu touches 2 meters 85 spiking and 2 meters 70 blocking. No, I don't believe that for a minute, do you? Edgar having a little bit of problem with his tape. What's the delay here? Some perspiration into the corner of the court, is there? Something on the floor, I think. It might be a bit of blood, maybe, and a bit more. So that's what the issue is. Edgar Just giving a bit of blood for the cause, which needs to be cleared up. There you go, true Terminator fashion, just stitching himself up, getting back on with it. Walker rattling the antenna won't help Australia. That delay didn't help them much. Egypt now leading by 2. So timeout called by Australia. Well, it looked good. Certainly from Australia's point of view, what a block. Australia straight back. No, Egypt straight back to business. Did that catch any hands? No, says the referee. Challenge coming. And in fact, it's been Edgar signalling he's touched it, so it will go Egypt's way. Australia get the ball off the block. So the technical timeout, Egypt leading by 4 points. Salah. That was a half-hearted serve from him. So Tom DP, who's come into play, makes his mark, replacing Staples, who's gone to the bench. Salah getting out of the way as it comes past him. Good up from Perry. Edgar again gets the ball. Well, he's not showing any sign of tiring, is he? He's going to be up near the 40-point mark pretty soon. But still, though, problems with his hands, which are bleeding, which is going to need some attention, I think. First referee just calling him over. So you've got to go and get that sorted out, son. You can't have blood spraying around all over the place.
Why not? Oh, bro, it's an injury timeout then.
No.
Why not? This is an injury.
No, but it's not. You don't have make a substitution.
How is this not an injury timeout?
No.
How?
No, it's not possible. You need to make a.
So they're telling him you can't have an injury timeout or medical timeout. You have to get substituted to have it looked at. But then he can't. Can the referee force Santilli to make a substitution? Well, the time that's been taken to talk about this, he could have just had it cleaned up by now. So he's being forced to make a timeout, a substitution, I should say. My apologies. Well, they want to get that done pretty quickly. Good up. Australia get on with it. Good lead. Good introduction from Carroll. Salah comes straight back and gets a side out. It's unlucky. It won't come back, unfortunately. It's interesting what Tom DP's ran into, and I'm surprised that's allowed on the field of play, actually. Nothing yet that Australia have done has got them into it. They'll go back on court though, that might change. So we're going to need one person to do something from the serving line or make a good block. And Australia can level, could go in front. Pass, yeah. Oh, great angle. Shortest player on court gets up and puts the ball down. A little bit of luck, and Egypt have a 3-point lead at the second technical timeout. Serve from Salah. He's been building up to it. It's just that last action into his swing, isn't it? It's all quite relaxed, and then boom, shoulder is accelerated through from his hip action with a hand, then just a blur. gets it back on track. So that's his 40th point now for Edgar in this game, which is quite incredible, really. The chase was on, but it wasn't to be. It does look like, doesn't it, we're heading into the 5th set. Australia don't seem to have any answers at the moment. It definitely looks like we're going into a 5th set. Peacock's backcourt, he can't go up and block. It's getting better and better here for Egypt. Well, if Santilli's got more substitutions, it might be a good idea just to get the players off court, get as many of the bench on and get ready for the 5th set, because this one's pretty much done and dusted now.
We are not serving. Yeah? Hey, if you find difficult to find number 14, change the setting, but be aggressive, guys. Come on.
Four points just is the target for Egypt. Mote comes off and Guymer's come back in now, and I think Santilli beginning to realise that, yep, make a few changes. Oh dear, that was almost trouble. Perry going to play that, and Edgar just wanted to hit it. That one he does, onto the line. Well, it was almost chaos, wasn't there? But in the end, it's rectified as Edgar hammers the ball away cross court. Out. So maybe it isn't all over. Maybe there's still some fight in Australia yet in this set. Oh, that's a good block. Oh dear. Oh wow. Well, he just thought Abu was going to unleash on that. He doesn't get that chance. Well, that's onto the baseline. The ball is in. Well, Santilli's going to challenge the ball in or out, but this ball is in.
Challenge for Australia. The challenge is ball being out.
Indeed, it is in.
The challenge was not successful.
Just two now then for Egypt. Once again, Abu almost impossible to stop. Two side outs required to take this one into, well, what's best described as fifth set roulette, really, isn't it? Well, there's a challenge coming. That's what is going on here. So you get 5 seconds to make a challenge. But not really sure quite what's going on here now. In fact, we are having a challenge. And Australia are not pleased about that because they were going back to serve. And we're ready with the ball to serve. So they're going to challenge in or out. So the ball is out. Challenge is unsuccessful. Now Edgar's going to get told off. But he's quite right to say, come on, ref. The refs have to show some discretion, but the rules say 5 seconds. So that's 5 seconds from when the whistle goes to say the point's over.
But please. No more complaint of your coach. Next time I will show the cards. No more complaint.
Well, if he starts to show the cards, it's not because it'll be somebody's birthday. Huge swing from Negib, and Egypt now have set point.
Substitution by Egypt. Number 14 out. Number 20, Mohamed Shafik in. Number 3 out. Number 8, Mohamed Zakir in.
A couple of changes for Egypt as they look to rest a few personnel ahead of the 5th set.
Substitution by Egypt. Number 20 out. Number 14, Umar in.
Passier with the serve. So that one goes down through the middle. Egypt take the set. Teams will stay where they are. The ref will come down and we will get ready to see who will be where and who will take what as this one heads into the deciding 5th set. So I asked the question earlier on about what happens if you make a block, the ball comes down and hits your foot while you're in the air. What does the referee do? Well, there are two things as we have a look at the highlights first. I'll tell you about the rest later. So here are your stats. One block each. 3 aces for Egypt. Pretty much set the tone, along with their more attacks from them. Now, if the ball that you're blocking at the net hits you on the foot while you're in the air, depending on how far in the air you are, depending how far off the floor the ball is, if it hits your foot and there is a possibility someone else could have played it, then it would be a fault against you. So the attacking team would get the point. If the ball is close to the floor and nobody was going to get anywhere near it, then it would be your point for making a block. So an interesting situation with the blood issue around Thomas Edgar. The referees are supposed to take reasonable care if there's a blood injury to make sure it's sorted out. If it can't be dealt with immediately by medical assistance, then a substitution is required, and that was an injury with that bleeding on Edgar's hand that couldn't have been dealt with immediately, you saw, so that was why he was substituted out, so he could have it looked at and dealt with and play could continue. Well, this now then is the race to 15. No technical timeouts. Coaches have 2 timeouts each, plus this whole gamut of substitutions they want to do, plus 2 challenges. As soon as we have a team reach 8 points, then that's a signal for the teams to change ends in the spirit of fair play, so they both get to experience any imperfections or anything that might be causing them to play particularly badly at one end or another, so it equals it all out. Away we go then with the 5th set. It's Australia with the serve, Egypt looking for side out. They're not going to get it. Peacock, Mote and Walker step up. And it's Peacock who puts the ball down. Is unstoppable. Oh, good serving. What a great start this is for Australia, and Egypt call the timeout. Oh, that's a beauty of a serve. Australia have made some a good inroad into this set already. 3-1 up. Now going to be relying on their side-out game. And more importantly, they've only got one tough jump server to have to deal with now in Salah, because Abdallah's on the bench, number 2 for Egypt. And Edgar again, just as calm and as cool as you like off the top of the block.
Front set, 330.
Just seemed to stay in Staples' hands for too long. Couldn't get him out. Get that ball out there to somebody else. Definitely no signs of Edgar getting tired. He is fired up for this one. And once again, look at that. No one's in front of him except the defender in the back row. And by then it's too late.
Back step. 33-4.
Abu's in a little bit of pain. Big middle blocker for Egypt. Checking his ankle. Australia don't care. They're leading by 4. It's a net touch by Edgar. He was down on the centre line, he wasn't over it, but it was one of his broad shoulders into the net. 45 points he scored now. That is just unbelievable. And still, no one else has got to double figures yet. Nearest is Walker with 8. Mote's got 7, Staples 6, and Passier 5. 45 points for Edgar. He could end up getting to 50. That might be a record. Well, that's a massive block, though, from Abu. Edgar doesn't operate particularly well at 4. Asking for a carry, but it's first ball contact. The block will work. Edgar's got to control himself. He's having a little go at the referee. He's going to be called over. He could get a card. You don't need that now. He needs to stay focused. He's got the point. Don't have a go at the ref. Get on and play. And there you go. Yellow card for Edgar. And if he can say why, well, he knows why. Got to keep them outbursts to himself and still chatting to the ref. Needs to get control here of himself. Peacock waiting there to play some D at 1. He's been really good alongside Perry. It's Walker who gets ready to serve. The table has sorted out the yellow card.
Back step. 3-4-14.
Passier trying as hard as he can to stop Abu. It's Abu who gets the point now. He'll have the serve. Little jump float from him coming cross court. Staples and Luke Perry looking to try and stop it, get it into Peacock. admin issue on the table, so it's been sorted. Getting closer, but still no cigar for Egypt. Still, they can't stop Edgar through that position. So as we reach the 8-point mark, teams will change around. Edgar 4 points away from a 50-point haul. The best scorer so far, leading up to today, was 26 points for Facundo Conte of Argentina. That was against Iran. And then Ahmed Abdelhay with 36 points. That's Salah, number 4. That was against Canada. So by far and away, Edgar has surpassed that. Here with the serve. Oh, it's an ace serve. That was in the corner. Where was Naguib going? What was he thinking? We're not on a beach court. We're indoors. Passier gets the ace. Australia lead by 4.
نحاول نكافح تاني لاخر نقطه، ما حدش يسلم وما حدش يرد. نلعب لاخر نقطه ماشي، بس يبقى في لعب وفي كفاح، ما نسلمش كده. يلا مومو يلا مومو.
Passier again. Salah gets block out. He looks quite nonplussed about the whole thing, Salah. Not showing any emotion at all. Block out for Australia. Well, how many times have we seen that picture of the Egypt block not being anywhere near fronting and taking away the power line of Edgar? Oh, wow, a good touch, a great touch from Mote. And then Walker and Perry look at each other instead of actually going after the ball. So Naguib now goes back. Australia need to hold their nerve. Just keep going about their business of getting side out. Take this too far into court. They don't side that one out. Egypt back to within 2. Net faults. That is going up and down. I think we're going to have a challenge, are we? Moniem saying he didn't touch the net. Net's going up and down. touched it. I get the feeling Monier might have touched the net with that face he's pulling.
The ball is for you now.
Okay.
Well, this might actually say the ball is for you now, but if it's an unfair challenge, but this has to be a let, because it was. If it's not a net touch, then it's got to be a let. So there is a fault on the way up. So it's a net touch on the way up, in which case then Australia do have the point. If there hadn't have been a touch, then it would be a let. Staples. Great serve. Good reactions from Mote. Another point for Edgar. He's on 49 now. Good blocking from Mote. And it's a foot fault against Egypt, and it's getting better and better and better for Australia. The bench is celebrating over in the pig pen. They know they're 2 away from their first victory. And a chance to move off the bottom of the table. Now, who's your money on here? Edgar at the back row. Well, indeed it was, and this time Abu stops him. At last, somebody's fronted up to him and taken the power line away. Challenging a net touch, but even if it's unsuccessful, this is more about the delay from the point of view of Egypt having to serve again. I guess the big question is, if Australia win this one, is how on earth did Thomas Edgar manage to keep himself together for what have been 48 swings so far? So then it's the ball that comes off of the block and then hits the net, which is why it looks like a net touch, but it isn't. Oh, it's getting interesting now. And it's Australia who call the timeout. Both teams have given each other a set's worth of errors.
Now you got it, and then we have to...
Let's go. Yeah, good. Come on, come on, come on.
Set out.
Abdul Latif gets ready again with the serve. This time they catch the block, do they? No. Or do they? Challenge coming.
Challenge by Australia.
Well, it's not exactly a fluid finish to this match, but for, oh, goodness me, you'll be going to ask for his hand back. That's where Abu just has to say, yeah, touched it. 49 points then for Edgar. Match point now for Australia. They're on their verge of their first victory. Mote with the serve. Salah with the swing, but he's not going to be able to. Just the volley. Oh, and almost embarrassing Staples. Edgar for the match. Good dig from Salah. Moniem gets block out. Match point saved. Well, it just tees it up very nicely now for Edgar to have a swing to get 50 points and win the match, doesn't it? Now, if I had 50 pence, I'd probably put it on Edgar getting this one. Or does Peacock go somewhere else? Oh, it's still in play. Walker wants it. He's not going to get it. And it's a block for Egypt. Now, that's a position where, in that situation, with a 2-point margin, do you know what? Egypt was stacking up on Edgar. Go middle. Go out wide. Go and let Walker have a swing for the game. Now they are under pressure, Australia, because this is probably going to, well, it's going to go to Edgar again now to try and win the match. Peacock won't want to trust Passier. He won't trust Walker with the ball. So it's kind of played into Egypt's hands. But it's going to be fascinating to see exactly what Peacock does with this when it comes back to him. Oh, that's a great pass. Edgar for the match. And down it goes. He gets 50 points. Australia get their first win. They have beaten Egypt. That was a war of attrition between the two teams in the end. And Australia came out on top of. 15-13 in the decider. Edgar with the highest points haul for some time, and on course perhaps for a nice cuddly Vabachan. So just 2.5 hours to sort that one out. So who's going to get the cuddly Vabachan? And funnily enough, it's the big man, Edgar. Might be a few tears from me. I know he's a big softie at heart. So congratulations to Thomas Edgar. Salah had 30 points himself. Only 6 off his best, but it was a massive haul for Edgar. Now, if you'd like to win a Vabachan, you can. Just tell us who you think will win the most Vabachans. Get involved, hashtag Vabachan Challenge. And if you get the right name, you'll be put into a hat with everybody else. And a lucky winner will be sent a Vabachan with the most impressive player's signature on it. So then the statistics for the whole match make for some interesting reading, don't they? 72 more attacks, so they're 2 up, Australia. They had 2 less aces, so they're back level again. But they made 2 more errors and 1 more block. So in the end, they were 1 back. Doesn't quite tie up. Maybe I've missed something there, but you can end up scoring less points but still win the match. It is one of those funny ones, particularly with the 26-24. So that concludes the stats. What a game it was. Australia have their first win. Here are the highlights.